Live from the THV 11 studio, the weather impact alert continues on this Tuesday evening. That's where we begin tonight. I'm Faith Woodard.
And I am Rolly Hoyt, and that is Chief Meteorologist Tom Brannon. Tom, how much good news is there in saying that we still haven't reached 100 degrees in Little Rock?
Let me tell you, I have no good news in this forecast. Back to you. How's that for a quick update, right? We did not make it to 100 today, Rolly and Faith. That could be a little bit of good news. Only 99 degrees, like 1 degree is going to make that much of a difference. That was at 2:53 this afternoon, but Russellville made it. Texarkana and Conway made it above or at 100. Lots of upper 90s to be seen across the state. When you factor in the dew point, that humidity level made it feel like 105 to 110 across a good part of the state today. Current temperatures are in blue, so it's 98 here. The heat index is 105. 98 in Arkadelphia. Feels like 109 there. Feels like 107 Texarkana. 6 o'clock and we're not cooling quick. It's going to stay very toasty until the sun sets. So here's what we have for you. The extreme heat warning remains in effect for the counties in magenta. 110 to 115 is what it could feel like all the way through Thursday. Now, this will expire tonight at 9, but pick back up again through 9 tomorrow, roughly noon to 9 for your heat alerts. And this is what you need to be aware of. Make sure you drink plenty of water, take those breaks, and stay indoors if you can. We'll take a look ahead at the possibility of a little relief. Faith and Rolly, just a few minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you. Now, some investigations, we have to dig a little, but when it comes to EBT theft, you have been knocking down our door.
Many of you reached out earlier this month after figuring out someone drained your EBT accounts. We shared the sad stories of the real struggle to figure out how to pay for food this month.
But our digging into this topic has led to some important new updates and advice. 11 News investigative reporter Catherine Rowley lays out the important steps families need to take right away because food stamps have become an easy target.
Faith and Rolly, these scams that are targeting SNAP benefits, what we're seeing now is different than what we've seen in the past. While online shopping and online bots, the number of scam victims has increased. And with more victims coming forward, the Department of Human Services is now urging more than ever to protect yourself against these scammers.
It's been happening across the country for a couple of years, but we have noticed an increase in the number of people who've notified us that it happened to them.
EBT scams are not new to the Department of Human Services in Arkansas. Cases have also been reported in several states like Texas, California, and Georgia. With an increase in reports in just the month of July, Mary Franklin, the Director of Division of County Operations for DHS, is urging EBT holders to change the PIN on their card.
We recommend that you not use common pins, but also things like maybe your month and day of your birthday, or the numbers of your address or your phone number. Just don't choose things that someone could easily associate with you.
In 2019, EBT shoppers were able to start using their cards to shop online through Amazon, Walmart, or other major retailers. And with new access online for goods, scammers also had new access to information.
If you shop online, to not save your EBT card information online. Not saying don't shop online, just don't save your card's information online.
Unlike your credit card from your bank where you could get called and notified, EBT cards aren't monitored. The money is out of the account before the cardholder is notified. While there isn't a set number, the reported cases are in the hundreds, but those who have been scammed could be higher.
We did launch an online form so that clients can report that to us, and we've had about 350 voluntarily report that it's happened to them since we opened up that avenue.
In the past, skimming has been the preferred method of fraud for criminals, but with the increase in advancing technology means an increase in scams.
There are bots and things like that, that can attempt to call the automated numbers for cards to be replaced. It's more than one. We believe it's more than one possible way.
DHS told me that there's no indication of a hack or a data breach within the agency, but what can you do if you are an EBT cardholder who has been impacted once by scams to prevent it from happening again? It all goes back to your PIN.
If it goes undetected, the theft could happen more than once. If the beneficiary does not know that their card was cloned and that they had benefits taken and their PIN number remains the same, then the card is vulnerable to be attacked again.
We reached out to the Attorney General's office, who provided me with a statement. We will have that full statement on our website. But he said he recognizes that victims in Arkansas are now a part of a pattern across the country. He says investigations are underway at the federal level, and he plans to work with them. We will continue to investigate the fraud and the investigation into the theft for the next steps. Back to you, Rolly.
All right, Catherine, thank you. And with those words of caution, here's a reminder that you can still apply for additional SNAP benefits under the summer EBT program. It's designed to work alongside SNAP and WIC programs that already exist, and it offers eligible participants an extra one-time payment of $120 to help get through the summer months. You can then use that money to stock up on groceries when kids are out of school. We've got all the details on how to qualify and a link directly to the application. You see it there on our website, thv11.com.
The THV11 News team has learned the Department of Education will halt debt forgiveness for its income-based repayment plan. It comes after legal challenges to former President Biden's SAVE plan. IBR, however, was the only plan that lawmakers chose not to challenge. It's indicated that the cause for canceling debt forgiveness under the plan might be due to a federal court ruling. However, there is no evidence requiring student loan forgiveness under IBR to cease. Limited options remain for people who already met the $300 payment requirement to have their remaining balance forgiven. With forgiveness on pause, you're encouraged to keep making payments consistently. According to Forbes, any payment you make after $300 should be eligible for a refund at some point. You may also contact loan servicers to request a pause on making payments.
Well, Little Rock Homeless Village has been in the works for a couple of years, trying to work through some holdups, but right now crews are back on track and making up for lost time.
Tonight, our Carter Thweet shows us where things are and why this project is taking so long.
Off Roosevelt Road in South Little Rock, what's currently a construction site could become a safe haven for over 200 people who make up Little Rock's homeless community.
Transitional housing for the unsheltered individuals that are homeless on the street.
Kevin Howard is the director of housing and neighborhood programs for the city. This project stems from a 2019 collaboration between Howard and Little Rock Mayor Frank Scott Jr.
Made the suggestion, hey, when we do a microhome village.
When completed, the facility will be able to provide transitional housing for around 220 individuals.
We'll have training, we'll have a laundry, we'll have a place where people can get assistance through health services and mental health services here at the microhome village, as well as work with a case manager on a day-to-day basis.
You may remember when we reported on the facility breaking ground just over 2 years ago. So why did construction just recently get started? Howard explains that the original plan for community bathrooms didn't work, forcing the city to go through another lengthy behind-the-scenes planning process and all the permits that requires.
We're using federal funds to do the non-congregated units, and so the federal government required that you have to have sanitary bathrooms in there in each one of the units.
But now things are back underway, with Howard saying they hope to start moving people in sometime in 2026.
And that puts them on the right track and get them back to where they need to be.
In Little Rock, Carter Thweet, THV 11 News.
Howard says Little Rock's homeless population is currently estimated at around 1,000. This project is part of Mayor Scott's goal to get to functional zero, where the city has enough temporary housing for all of its homeless population.
Well, we have us a good old-fashioned Arkansas heat wave ongoing with now 7 days in a row of temperatures 95 plus. Started back on July 16th. Today's high temperature was 99. Will we make it to 100? It's in our forecast coming up next.
And there's an overflow of assistance mobilized for flood recovery in Texas.
We'll explain how it began in that environment and how it could be troubling for some rescue team members.